Good evening, everyone. Hey, first of all, I'd like to let all of you know I've really enjoyed myself this evening. You guys are a lot of fun. I'm envious of all you young people because as I'm sitting here looking very seasoned, I said, wow, that must have been the way I looked many years ago. But you guys look awesome. Colonel Garlick, thank you for those kind words. But too generous, so you gave me too generous of an introduction. Colonel Odom, Colonel Garlick again, Chief Warrant Officer 5, Command Sergeant Major Culberson, distinguished guests, our Regimental Sergeant Major here, and our distinguished guests and other members of the mess. This has been well planned and so thus far well executed. Mrs. Vice, you really impressed me. You're hard. You're really, really hard. But keep doing what you're doing. Can I borrow your belt for a minute? Can I borrow your unit for a minute? Now, for the rest of the evening, he's going to finish the speech. I'm done. But yes, it's a pleasure for me to be here tonight. You can't go anywhere. You just stay with me. Tonight I'd like to talk to you about one subject. The subject I want to talk to you tonight about is called change. You've heard about my background and where I came from. And I started off, yes, as an air defense officer. I never envisioned in my life I would ever become an AG officer. Actually, my wife served for a little bit and she actually became the AG officer. I tried to remain as a duck hunter. And then over time, things happened. I switched over, I became a 43, which meant you had to be a human resource person, and that's all you'll ever do. And when it first started, G1 was never in the picture. So over time, as we go, and over the many other jobs I've had, I ended up becoming a Brigade 1. Where my first experience out in the field was like, let's see, I went to Air Command and Staff College. I graduated December 2003. My assignment was to the 82nd Airborne Division, and 3 weeks later, I'm in Baghdad. I'm actually a Brigade 1. Wow. Now, I didn't go to any specific courses or anything like that to be prepared for a Brigade 1, but I was a Brigade 1. Sergeant Major Rodney Allen, who's currently up in the EPMD at HRC, was the guy who met me at BIOP and gave me my 9mm, which I didn't qualify on anything. He says, hey, sir, welcome to the team. You're a part of the team. And so, wow, I went in and met my brigade commander, and he saw my duck hunter brass on top of me, and he said, hey, why in the world would you want to be a 1? That's the hardest darn job you can do on the staff. And he started laughing at me, and he says, here's the bottom line. We don't have any systems in our brigade. Make some, fix it, put some systems in place. And then he let me go. So that's my introduction at the field grade level of becoming a Brigade 1. And I had to rely on a lot of folks. I had to rely on lieutenants, I had to rely on NCOs, I had to rely on warrant officers to get me through battle buddies. I had a network. I had to build friendships and relationships with people from all across the community here. And many of them, as long as I tried, they embraced me basically and helped me along the way. So in your journey, as you do what you do, and as you go out there and represent this wonderful Corps, it's important to remember to just go ahead and build a relationship. Anticipate change, welcome change, embrace change. My next job after that was up at the Division G1, which I did for about 3 years. And really after being a deputy G1 for about 3 years, you really don't want to be a G1. You felt like you've been a G1. But nonetheless, it turned out that way. And then I took a quick break, and you heard about the SRC-12. I went into that field, and really the first job I asked for when I went there was to be an R5 team chief, because I wanted to chill. I wanted to hang out, relax for a minute. I didn't really want a hard job. That seemed like the job, the staff section to join, because really you had like 2 high-speed CW4 warrants, you had a sergeant major, you had a couple master sergeants, then me as a lieutenant colonel, I don't have a whole lot to do. That's what I thought. Until about 3 weeks later, my Colonel Shea, who's now retired, who's well known in this community to the older and more seasoned folks, called me up while I was on leave and says, hey, I'm sorry, Darwin. I need you as my planes and ops chief. I said, dang, it's more work. That translation to that is more hard work. But nonetheless, all I simply did there was embraced it. And took the challenge and drove on. And actually it was a fascinating time, because it was a fascinating time of transition for our Army. We switched to this SRC-12 structure, and many of the old guards and the more senior folks didn't know really how to embrace it. And oh, by the way, we just threw our young lieutenants, captains, majors out there in the field and said, go after it. And but we had an opportunity to try to affect change and help those young officers make it through that process. So it's still ongoing. You guys are well prepared, better prepared, and very, very capable out there. Everything that this schoolhouse is teaching you, the different diverse experience that you have amongst your instructors and the leadership, they have clearly prepared you to take on any challenge within our community. So I share with you tonight, just simply, as you go forward, change is going to come. Remain resilient. Remember our values. Remember the core. You represent the core. Reach out and ask your neighbors, to your friends and buddies to your left and right for help. And it's always going to be available to you. There's no mission too difficult. This is, yes, a thankless job. As General Abrams once told me, you're only as good as your last great transaction. And that is true. So, but you need to develop and support and foster a team that is always committed to being resilient and then ultimately taking care of the soldiers that you serve. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for having me here tonight, and thank you for having me as your guest speaker. Some of you are a little tipsy, I know, so I'm going to get ready to go sit down, relax, and enjoy the rest of the evening. And I got before I did that, I got to share one thing. I had 14 pages in front of me, prepared for a speech, and I did not use any of it. I have a team of about 82 people, so I figure I have 82 speech writers. You just pick one. But they did a real job, but they really did prepare me. I really enjoyed this evening, but thanks to you. You really did. Thank you.